Good morning and welcome to Morning Devotions. When you were a child, did you ever climb a fence to get into a field? Maybe it was a fence that separated where you were from an apple orchard. Or maybe it was a fence that separated you from another friend's property. But instead of looking for a gate to go through, you just climbed over the fence. Most of us have done that in our lives, haven't we? Jesus, however, tells us that those who do not use the gate are thieves and robbers. I don't think we ever thought of ourselves that way, did we? Our scripture this morning is in John again, chapter 10. Listen to what Jesus has to say. I tell you the truth. Anyone who sneaks over the wall of a sheepfold rather than going through the gate must surely be a thief and a robber. But the one who enters through the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep recognize his voice and come to him. He calls his own sheep out by name, and he leads them out. After he has gathered his own flock, he walks ahead of them, and they follow him, because they know his voice. Those who heard Jesus use this illustration didn't understand what he meant, so he explained it to them. I tell you the truth. I am the gate for the sheep. All who came before me were thieves and robbers, but the true sheep did not listen to them. Yes, I am the gate. Those who come in through me will be saved. They will come and go freely and will find good pasture. The thief's purpose is to steal and kill and destroy, but my purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. I am the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd sacrifices his life for the sheep. I am the Good Shepherd. I know my own sheep, and they know me. Fenced-in yards or pastures or fields or industrial parks, it doesn't matter what. Any fenced-in area has to have a gate, doesn't it? There has to be a means of getting in and out. So whether we're talking about the gate to a cemetery, and I'm not sure who needs to get out, but whether it's a gate going into a cemetery or the gates at Disney World. Gates allow people entrance and exit. Jesus said, I am the gate. What does he mean? Well, as we've just said, the gate is the access point. And Jesus is saying, he is the access point. You want to go into heaven? You've got to go through the gate, and Jesus is the gate. You want to go into the field of abundant life? You can't climb the fence. You've got to go through the gate, and Jesus is the gate. What Jesus is telling us here is that he holds the exclusive place of being the one that allows us access to all the things of God. We could say that he's the door, and Jesus describes himself that way in another place. But here, as he's talking about sheep, he uses the analogy of the gate. But the meaning is very clear. He is the only means of access. And anybody who tries to cross over the fence that goes in any other way is a thief and a robber. But Jesus didn't just stop at saying that he was the gate. He went on and he said that he was the good shepherd. I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep and my sheep know me. I am the good shepherd who lays down his life for his sheep. Many times, a property owner who had a large herd of sheep would have to hire somebody to assist with taking care of the flocks because they were just so large. And yes, there was a shepherd, but there were also hirelings or under shepherds, if you would. And the problem with those hirelings is that if a bear came out and started moving towards the sheep, as the sheep began to run, well, so did the hireling. He didn't stay around to defend the sheep. He was gone. If a robber came to steal sheep, again, the hireling didn't defend the sheep. He protected himself. It was only the shepherd who was willing to tackle the bear or the lion. It was only the shepherd who was willing to put his life at risk for his flock. And Jesus tells us that he is that good shepherd and that he does sacrifice his life for his sheep. Those of us that are the sheep of the good shepherd know his voice, don't we? Oh, it's not an audible voice, but it's a voice that speaks into our spirit. It is that still small voice that reminds us of what is right and what is wrong, that reminds us of when we step out of line, that still small voice that reminds us when we need to ask for forgiveness or we need to give forgiveness to someone else. Jesus is the gate and he is the good shepherd. Today I hope you pause and think about Jesus being your good shepherd and how he laid down his life for you. Have a wonderful day and may God bless you.